Hi there, Recap Factory is here. Today we will be explaining a 2018 movie titled Bohemian Rhapsody. Beware, spoilers ahead. Watch out, take care and enjoy. The movie opens with preparations being made for the historic Stay Aid concert in 1985. As the level is set, walking to the front is the mythical rock big name, Freddie Mercury. We reduce lower back to 1970 whilst Freddie became working as a luggage handler at Heathrow Airport. He lives together with his mother and father Jer and Bommy, and sister Kashmira, and lives as Farrokh Bulsara, however he prefers to be referred to as Freddie. Freddie attends a display at a membership to look a band known as Smile perform. After the show, contributors Brian May additionally and Roger Taylor are advised through their frontman Tim Staffel tells them that he wants out of the band to pursue bigger possibilities. As he looks for the band, Freddie meets Mary Austin and compliments her headband, which she says is from the shop she works at. Freddie then strategises Brian and Roger after the show to compliment their performance and provide to be their new singer. They appear unconvinced at the start, specifically with Freddie's huge teeth. However, Freddie sings for a moment to show off what he can do. Freddie joins Brian and Roger, in conjunction with their new bassist John Deacon, or Deaky. Someone within the audience comments on Tim's absence and substitute with a Parky. After a piece of an ungainly start, Freddie suggests off his skills, notwithstanding making a song a number of the lyrics are chunked incorrectly. A year later, the band is getting consistent paintings acting gigs throughout England, and Freddie has been courting Mary. After their van breaks down, Freddie proposes that they sell it to record their first album, and that they start to move via the name Queen. Mary and the men have lunch at Freddie's domestic, joined by using Mary's deaf father. Jer tells the guests how their family were originally from Zanzibar until they had been chased out of there. Freddie then answers the telephone and tells the men that a song manager named John Reid, who works with Elton John, has listened to their demo and desires to meet and control Queen, to the excitement of the alternative guys. The band meets with Reid, who introduces them to Paul Prenter, any other manager. Reid receives the band to move on a famous BBC display to carry out Killer Queen, however they initially clash with the show's manufacturers for looking them to perform the manner the network desires them to, particularly lip-syncing the tune. 1975, at Domestic, Freddie proposes to Mary, who accepts. The alternative men come in to tell Freddie that Reid has booked the band excursion of the United States. The band embarks on their US tour to ecstatic offered-out concert events. Additionally, they lease lawyer Jim Beach, or Miami as Freddie prefers. The band, plus Reid and Seaside, meet with Emmy's record manufacturer Ray Foster to make their next album. Freddie proposes something much like an experience of going to the opera, and so he wishes to call it a night on the opera. The band stays collectively as they paintings toward their subsequent big hit. At the same time as seeking to write new songs, Paul strategises Freddie and kisses him. Even though he doesn't try to face up to, Freddie tries to make it look like he doesn't feel quite in addition closer to Paul, who claims he knows Freddie as well as he knows himself. Regardless of some disagreements, the band comes to create Bohemian Rhapsody. They play it for Foster, who thinks it's too long at 6 minutes and is comprised of nonsense phrases. He would as an alternative use Roger's I'm in love with my automobile or You're my first class friend to be the main single on the album over Bohemian Rhapsody, since he thinks the one's songs would play higher with a young demographic even as no radio station will want to play a protracted tune. Queen determined to turn their backs on Foster and EMI. Freddie takes Bohemian Rhapsody to DJ Kenny Everett to play it for the very first time to the public. It gets mixed to outright scathing reviews, however it will become one of the band's largest hits that they play at venues everywhere in the world. After the sector excursion, Freddie meets with Mary, whom he has been distancing himself from on the road. He comes out to Mary as bisexual, but she tells him he's gay. She starts off evolved to cry as she is tired of all of Freddie's excuses, and she or he breaks up with him. 1980, Freddie cuts his hair and sports activities his now famous mustache. He owns his very own home subsequent to Mary, but he appears to be lonely. He calls Paul to arrange a party and invite a bunch of strangers. Freddie invites the band, but he starts off evolved to act all crass and rudely toward them, prompting them to go away. After the celebration, Freddie gropes a waiter, Jim Hutton. Although he offends Jim, Freddie apologizes and invitations him to live. The two chat and percentage a kiss earlier than Jim leaves, but he invites Freddie to find him after he's found himself. Brian comes up with a new song that he thinks will encourage the audience to carry out at the side of the band, "We Are Able to Rock You." Positive sufficient, it becomes every other spoil hit. After one in every of Queen's performances, Paul strategies read and shows that they try and get Freddie to go solo. Meanwhile, Freddie unearths Mary with her new boyfriend David. On the manner domestic from the show, Reed offers the solo deal to Freddie. However, it only enrages him to even reflect on consideration on leaving the band, and Freddie fires Reed. Freddie's behavior receives worse as he suggests up to rehearsals past due and almost fights with Roger. They settle their arguments as Deaky writes a brand new hit, "Any Other One Bites the Dirt." The band is going to a press conference where journalists hound Freddie with questions on his intercourse lifestyles and orientation, due to ongoing rumors that he has been undertaking homosexual orgies. He appears too overwhelmed and dazed to correctly answer questions while he isn't being impolite to the journalists. Queen then does a video for "I Want to Break Unfastened," which gets banned through MTV for proposing the institution in drag. Later, Freddie tries to get in contact with Jim, however unearths that there are a big range of Jim Huttons in the cell phone ebook. Freddie later confesses to the others that he signed a $4 million solo settlement with CBS Statistics, which deeply upsets the others. As Freddie leaves, Brian tells Freddie that he wishes them extra than he realizes. 1984, Freddie actions to Munich to record his solo album, Mr. Awful Man. One night, he's visited through Mary, who says she is pregnant. She attempts to persuade Freddie to rejoin the band as they had been supplied a spot to perform at the Live Aid Advantage live performance for Africa. Mary leaves, but Freddie confronts Paul about now not telling him about Live Useful Resource. He breaks up with Paul and needs that he by no means see him again. In retaliation, Paul is going on television to discuss his sexual family members with Freddie. Freddie gets in contact with Seashore and manages to get the others collectively to speak about becoming a member of Stay Resource. He apologizes to the guys for his conduct and leaving behind them. Seashore tells them that the lineup is fully booked, but he talks to Bob Geldof and convinces him to allow them to perform, and they all agree below the situation that anything they arrive up would be credited to Queen as an entire and now not to any individual one among them. The band starts off evolved to practice for the show, but Freddie falls ill. He sees a medical doctor and gets the analysis that he tested advantageous for AIDS. Freddie tells the band approximately it, however he doesn't want them to feel bad for him as long as they are able to perform together as friends. They all then get together for a collection hug. 1985, the day of Live Useful Resource has arrived. Freddie unearths Jim and invites him to come see the show. He visits his family and suggests them laugh before heading to the performance. Bommy comes to a decision he'll need to observe the show on television together with his circle of relatives. Even as at the display, Mary and David arrive, and Jim joins them behind the curtain to observe the show. It's far now Queen's flip to perform. They start with Bohemian Rhapsody, wherein Freddie blows a kiss to the camera for his family. The next song is Radio Gaga, observed with the aid of Hammer to Fall, and finally We Are the Champions, wherein humans watching everywhere sing along to. Numerous requires pledges are available, bringing in over £1 million, and Queen's overall performance is so epic that it drives many visitors to tears. After the overall performance, the men walk away like authentic champions. The final text states that Freddie Mercury died in 1991 from AIDS-associated pneumonia. He became in a courting with Jim Hutton for the relaxation of his existence, and he remained true pals with Mary Austin until his demise. Jim Seaside and the surviving members of Queen joined to create the Mercury Phoenix Trust to help fight AIDS International. Did you enjoy the recap? Tell us your thoughts in the comment section and thank you for watching. Give us a like and remember to also hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to catch more fresh content. See you.